My design philosophy is that every design should be strong and flexible. It should have a strong concept behind it, and that concept should be flexible enough to withstand the ravages of time and budget and everything else that gets thrown at it. Started with the macro view. How does this fit into a regional context? Sociologically, ecologically, having that initial look informed the rest of the entire design. The beauty of this site, of this project, really is that it was community-led from the get-go. The community realized it was an undervalued resource being immediately adjacent to that intertidal creek. And so they formed Friends of Paradise Creek. And they said it's all about the creek.
We work in our own neighborhood, in fact, and it's a part of our community that we want to take care of. So if we didn't protect the wetland habitat at Paradise Creek, it likely would have been channelized with concrete.
I thought, let's build a completely porous park, something that is visually porous, something that is hydrologically porous, so that it doesn't fight nature. Instead, it lets nature pass through and it bends with it. That was a pretty strong idea, and it came about because of the creek. The city told me they wanted a no maintenance park. Not just low maintenance, but no maintenance park. And that means no lawn, which is tough because lawn is what people think of when they think of parks. And they're all native plants. Plants that are in the wetland area are all wetland plants that you would find in this area of Southern California. I'm proud of the way that it turned out. It's tough when there's no maintenance, but it will weather that. And you watched it being easily cleaned up. Some people get down there who care, and they take care of it. Several times a year during king tides, the creek backs up. What I decided to do was use a gabion wall. The gabion wall is simply a basket full of rocks. I was using that as a filter so that the water could back up all the way to it. The trash could flow against it, but the water would flow in and out of it instead of trying to create a dam. And as a result, the trash would gather kind of in the edge of that, and then it was easier to clean up because you're just walking along this curvy line.
Paradise Creek drains about 2/3 of National City. So from in the east at Paradise Hills, it's gonna wash out all the trash in the gutter and in the storm drains and try to bring it out to the ocean. And so whatever we can get out here, we're keeping it from the National Wildlife Refuge that's downstream, and then ultimately the San Diego Bay and Pacific Ocean.
We hit whatever it is that is the biggest need at the time that month. If it's after a rain and a lot of trash has come in, we might do a lot of trash cleanup. Right now we've got a lot of invasives that are coming in, and with a crew this big, we just have to take advantage of that because there's just so much of it.
If you follow the science and the reports, they're really distressing, and you have a sense of helplessness and hopelessness. There's not much I can do, this is out of my control. How much a day of picking up trash, ripping out invasive plants, how much that helps in the grand scheme of things, probably is a small impact, but it feels good to get out and do something. It feels good to get out and pick up a lot of plastic.
The name came about because of the people who were the movers and shakers who got the park built. Ted Gottschalk and his wife, Margaret, were instrumental getting the attention of the city and getting that park built. Because of the school being there and because of his interest in the creek being the center of attention, he wanted to bring a lot more education into the park.
We brought all the 5th graders from National School District and we did a field trip here. They came inside the garden to learn about the plants, composting. Then we did a tour of the marsh, and then they got to test out the water from the creek, just like the city does. It's awesome. One of the students that actually came on the field trip A week later, he brought his dad and they own a community bed. We just require them to come twice a week so that they can water and harvest their own items. But they're allowed to plant whatever they like. Once they get here, we see them on a regular basis. We want the community to come in here and get their hands dirty.
What I really enjoy, and I've never seen this process fail, is getting together with the community and through the workshop process and hearing what they thought. Don't call it the city, call it our city, because no one's going to take care of it better than we will.